Why does Suze Orman keep getting this wrong? It's the weirdest thing, man. Um, so I'm dealing with clients the other day, some folks I'm working with, and just great people. They followed Suze Orman, and she set them on the right path. They were knee deep in debt. Suze Orman, Dave Ramsey, they followed, and they're freaking just kicking butt and taking name now. The company got bought out. This guy's miserable. His boss is just a clown show. I've heard this story 1,000 times if I heard it once. They got no debt. It's the same story I've heard a million times, and yet they were scared. They had this like panic that he was going to have to stay at his crappill job dealing with his new bosses who are just clown show. And I'm looking at their numbers. I'm sitting there thinking, because when I saw their data, I'm like, they must have messed something up here because there's no way I just can't believe that they think that they can't retire. I'm stunned by this because they don't spend that much and they got no debt. And so before I having my meeting with them, I'm like, it's weird. So we get to chatting, and then I asked the wife, I said, what's your basic concern? And she goes, well, he is just very nervous, but not nervous, probably maybe nervous, apprehensive, because he's worked his whole life, as all of us have. And he's done these spreadsheets, and he doesn't know what he doesn't know. And he's just worried, but I know his job is literally killing him. So I know he has to quit because his job is killing him. But I know he's very apprehensive that he's making a mistake. He's not seeing something, he's making a mistake, which is why I got called in. So we get to chat, and I'm like, all right, looking at their numbers, like, this is all you guys spend? Yeah, we're homebodies. Basically spend all their disposal money with their kids, put them through Catholic school and then through college. But now the kids are gone. They're like, we just don't spend that much. We're just pretty comfortable at home. I'm like, I know the feeling, man. Me too. And I'm like, so what are we worried about? And that's what I had about Suze Orman. I said, well, Suze Orman this, Suze Orman that. And I said, man. Anyway, he was watching a Dave Ramsey video, and one of my videos just happened to come up, thankfully. And but this isn't about Dave Ramsey, it's about Suze Orman. I'm like, I just don't understand. Like, Suze Orman says you need millions to retire, and they don't have millions. They got million in the singular, but not millions in the plural. But they just don't spend that much. 50,000 a year. Then you got to factor in property taxes, homeowners insurance, right? And you got to factor income taxes and healthcare. And I way over examined healthcare for them because we got them going on Obamacare. And then if you keep the income below a certain threshold, you get these big credits. Anyway, the long story short is they're spending about 50 to 70,000 a year. That's it. I'm looking at their Social Security, and between them, Social Security is going to cover 6,000 of that a month, or was it 5,000? Maybe about 6,000 a month. Let's say 5,000. It doesn't matter. So they got a $1.4 million portfolio. They only need $12,000 a year from it once Social Security kicks in. And the guy's 63 and a half. She's 60, something like that. So she got a couple years of Obamacare, which if she keeps her income low enough, they're going to get huge APTCs, accelerated premium tax credits. And I'm horrified how many people are out there that aren't seeing this video right here, and they think they can't retire because Suze Orman says you need millions. I'm like, why? Now, Suze Orman will attribute it to, look, I got no qualm with Suze Orman. There's a lady that does a video that's pretty devastating on how Suze Orman came to be in terms of her accolades of that self-promotion, which is pretty devastating. But I got no look. I'm agnostic towards Suze Orman. In this case, she helped these people get out of debt and get on the path of savings and stuff. And Dave Ramsey does the same thing. So that's good. The problem is they got past that initial hump, and now they're still just grinding away, digging the ditches for the man who hates them. And who's literally killing them because because they're bringing on emotional, they're emotionally traumatic. There's no other way around it. When you're treated badly by your boss, it's an emotional trauma, and then you get physically devastated because your whole stress level goes up and your physicality goes up. Your lack of physicality. I've seen this happen a million times. Happened to me. Anyway, so I'm sitting there thinking, so they think they need millions. I'm like, what would you need millions? Well, to spend on what exactly? And Suze Orman's thing is long-term care. I'm like, okay, well, Suze Orman's going to pay what her mom costs, $10,000 a month or something like that, long-term care, or 20,000. All right, well, that's her mom. Suze Orman's got millions, so she can afford it. The vast majority of us, I just want to see the evidence. I want to see the actual evidence that a significant amount of people spend significant amounts of money in long-term care facilities. I don't want to see the average cost, because the average cost is what they're going to charge you if you go in. I want to see the actual evidence that people spend significant amount of money. And I had a client back in Virginia, and her mom was in West Virginia and had to move down the hill from Franklin, West Virginia to Harrisonburg, and was spending $6,000 a month at a long-term care facility in Harrisonburg. I forgot, Sunnyside, I forgot what it was. All right, well, you know how she funded it? She sold her house and a farm in Franklin, West Virginia to fund it. That's how she did. And you know how long she's in the facility? Less than 2 years. So I don't understand this whole thing that you need billions or millions, I should say, to retire. I literally don't understand it, other than ignorance of what you're truly spending, or other than a fear that because Suze Orman says she needs $10,000 per month for her mom, who's going to live gold-plated, freaking end of days in the most exorbitant long-term care facility, and she's going to be there for 5 years. Other than that, I don't. Okay, yeah, it happens to some people, very, very few. Anyway, it's sad, man. I don't get why Suze Orman can't get it. It's the same thing with Dave Ramsey. I don't understand. It's like you get. And I hope I'm never like this, actually, where you get a certain level of notoriety that you can't admit mistakes. I hope I'm never like that. I'm trying to think where I would be in that. I don't know. I have to, I'm sure there's something where I can't admit mistakes. It won't be batteries. It won't be solar. I guess it could be my inflation versus see, I'm not, but I don't, I've never sat there and said, look, I believe in deflation. I was thinking about this myself this morning. I said, given the current energy system, I don't know though. If you have high cost energy feeds the world, you're gonna have high inflation. I'm not so sure. I think that's long standing though. I think Americans are going to get what Americans desire. And Americans don't desire high cost of goods via high electricity, higher energy prices. And so as such, we'll deal with it for a couple of years, but I don't know. I don't think the high energy costs are permanent. I don't. I mean, it could be. Well, the Build Back Better, the Biden stupid plan, the Green New Deal, all that could be permanent. But I don't buy that's going to. I'm cautiously optimistic that that's going to be not going to come into law. So I'm trying to think like Suze Orman. Why would she hang her hat on this? You need millions, when the facts are very, 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 very few people have that, and very, 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 very few people will have that. I just don't get it. Anyway. Got to know your expenses. And once you look at your expenses, you'll say, maybe I don't need that much after all. Maybe I can quit my crap hill job. All right, love to hear your thoughts. See you.